Hi, Tom. Thanks for the call or picking up my call. And I'm sorry you're picking up my call right when I'm about to have a coughing fit. So I apologize if I have to pause for a moment. So I'm actually calling because there is something that a headline that Alex Wagner last night broke on her show on MSNBC. I have not heard anyone else cover it. Excuse me. Texas schools are sending DNA kits to parents to collect DNA samples of their children in order to identify their bodies in the event of an emergency.
Right, and the part of that doesn't get mentioned that I was hoping the press would talk about, and I've read several articles about this, and nobody mentions this, is that these AR-15s are such powerful weapons that they literally blow the heads off these children and render them unidentifiable. You can't tell who's who, and they've had to do this. They had to do this in Parkland. They had to do this in Uvalde. They actually had to use DNA to figure out which body was which kid, because the gun had so completely blown their heads apart.
Well, and I just learned looking it up on the article that was shared yesterday on MSNBC that this was legislation that was passed a year ago after the Santa Fe high school shooting, and now it's being enforced after the Uvalde shooting. And I just don't know where the atrocities stop with this group. It's like here they are doing this thing, look at us being proactive. And it's like, no, you're missing the point. Being proactive would be stopping these events from happening in the first place. And it's just horrific and terrifying as a mother myself, who my first child is a year away from going into public school. And it's appalling.
Yeah, we have more guns per capita and more guns in absolute numbers than in civilian hands than any other nation in the world. Over 400 million guns, only 330 million of us here. And gun deaths are now the #1 leading cause of death among children in the United States for the first time ever. And we're the only country in the world where that is the case. And it's just breathtaking.
And Tom, like I want to be able to send my child to school to get an education. My husband and I have always talked about sending our kids to public school. I have my own little conspiracy theory going on now, thinking about it. Betsy DeVos was put into office for the U.S. Department of Education to essentially defund public schools and to prop up private schools.
You're right.
And I almost wonder if there isn't some kind of angle that, conservatives are playing with. Okay, if we harden public schools, if we make public schools less desirable for attendance, is that actually going to help a different conservative agenda with propping up private schools? It
may be.
Schools are safe. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're doing nothing to get guns out of circulation and instead are saying, we need DNA samples from your children because when they get shot up at school, we may not be able to identify the bodies because these weapons that we are working to keep on the streets of America, these weapons of war, are so powerful that they literally explode a child's head like a watermelon. I mean, this is nuts. Christina, I need to move on, but thank you very much for the call, and I wish you the very best in your difficult decisions there in Columbia, South Carolina, about your kid going to school and everything else. That's got to be rough. Thank God our kids are growing up. Although we've got grandkids who are going into school next year, one of them.